Have you ever stopped to wonder what you truly are? I mean, really stopped. You look at your hands, you feel the air on your skin, you remember the taste of your favorite food, but who is the you doing all that experiencing? You are a collection of atoms, forged in the hearts of long-dead stars. A complex dance of chemistry and electricity. Yet, somehow, out of that cosmic dust and electrical fizz, an experience emerges. The feeling of being alive. The universe, it seems, has found a way to know itself, and it does so through you. This is the grandest mystery of them all. How does a lump of matter, about 3 pounds of it sitting inside your skull, generate the richness of your inner world? This question isn't just for philosophers sitting in ivory towers. It's for every single one of us. It's the ultimate how. Not how the planets orbit the sun or how a star ignites, but how you can feel the warmth of that sun on your face and know that it is you feeling it. We are stardust that has become sentient. We have evolved not just to survive, to perceive, to feel, to question our own existence. So what is this thing we call consciousness? Let's strip it down. At its core, consciousness is simply experience. It's the movie playing in your head, and you are its only audience member. Redness of a rose, sound of a guitar chord, sharp pain of a stubbed toe, warmth of a memory. It's what it feels like to be something, what it's like to be a bat, what it's like to be a dog, what it's like to be you, a rock, likely no inner life, a computer program, so far no inner life. It's that simple and that profound. It's the subjective, private, first-person reality you inhabit every waking moment. Philosophers and scientists call these moments qualia. Redness of a stop sign, a quail. Saltiness of a pretzel, another quail. Your conscious life is a continuous stream of these qualia, woven together into a seamless tapestry of awareness. Consciousness is not just being awake, it's the rich textured quality of that wakefulness. It's the difference between a camera merely recording a scene and you experiencing that scene. The camera captures the light, but you see the beauty. That's the magic we're trying to understand. This inner world has 2 key features. Are we alone in our consciousness? Are humans the only beings in the known universe to possess this inner light? The evidence strongly suggests the answer is no. We can't directly experience what another creature feels, so we look for clues. We observe behavior, and we find signs of awareness across the animal kingdom. Think of your dog. It gets excited when you pick up its leash. It looks guilty when it chews your shoe. It seems to dream, its paws twitching as it chases imaginary rabbits. Is there a what it's like to be your dog? Most owners would say yes. It's a different kind of consciousness, dominated by smell, but it's an experience nonetheless. Scientists have devised clever tests for self-awareness. One of the most famous is the mirror test. An animal is anesthetized. A mark is placed on a part it can't normally see, often on the forehead. When it wakes, it's placed before a mirror. If it touches the mark on its own body, not the mirror, it suggests self-recognition. Chimpanzees pass, orangutans pass, dolphins pass, orcas pass, elephants pass, Eurasian magpies pass. Self-recognition isn't uniquely human. It has evolved multiple times across the tree of life. Let's go deeper into the ocean. Consider the octopus. If consciousness lives in the brain, where can we find it? For centuries, this was a complete black box. But with the tools of modern neuroscience, we've begun to draw a map, however incomplete. We've learned that there isn't one single consciousness spot in the brain. You can't point to a lobe and say, there it is. Instead, consciousness seems to emerge from coordinated activity across many brain regions, all talking to each other in a high-speed network. It's a global broadcast across the cerebral cortex. When this network is active and integrated, you are conscious. When it breaks down, consciousness fades. We see this clearly in unconscious states: deep dreamless sleep, general anesthesia, coma. Communication between key brain areas dwindles. Parts of the brain become isolated islands of activity. A network involving the thalamus and the cerebral cortex is crucial. When the thalamus stops coordinating the cortex, the lights go out. Consciousness is a process, a delicate dance of electrical and chemical signals, that, when harmonized, produces the feeling of being. Certain regions play starring roles: prefrontal cortex, self-awareness, planning, decisions; parietal lobes, sense of space and relation to the world. The map is still being drawn, but it points to a dynamic, brain-wide network. How do we study something we can't see, touch, or measure directly? How do we get a glimpse of another person's private inner world? This is the grand challenge for scientists of consciousness. We can't just pop open a skull and see the feeling of red. So we have to be clever. We have to be detectives looking for objective physical clues or neural correlates that reliably match up with subjective, reported experiences. We build a bridge between the first-person world of feeling and the third-person world of physical measurement. This quest has given us a remarkable set of tools for peeking inside the thinking brain. One of our most powerful tools is functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI. This incredible machine lets us watch the brain in action without ever making an incision. It works by tracking blood flow. When a part of the brain becomes more active, it calls for more oxygen-rich blood. An fMRI scanner can detect the magnetic signature of that oxygenated blood, creating a dynamic map of brain activity. Another key tool is the electroencephalogram, or EEG. This involves placing a cap of electrodes on the scalp to listen in on the brain's electrical chatter. Neurons communicate using tiny electrical pulses, and when millions of them fire together, they create electrical waves that can be detected from outside the skull. Transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS, is a technique where a powerful magnetic coil is held near the scalp. This generates a focused magnetic field that can either temporarily excite or inhibit the activity of the neurons directly underneath it. These tools are our starships for exploring the inner cosmos. As we map the brain and its functions, we get closer to answering the easy problems of consciousness. These aren't easy at all, but they are solvable in principle. They involve figuring out which brain processes are responsible for which functions, how we distinguish sounds, how we focus attention, how we control our behavior. We are essentially figuring out how the brain's machinery works. But this leads us to a much deeper, more perplexing question, one that philosopher David Chalmers famously dubbed the hard problem of consciousness. Why does all this information processing feel like anything at all? Why is there an inner experience attached to it? Think about it. We could, in theory, build a sophisticated robot that takes in information about light waves, processes it, and says, "I see red." It could perform all the same functions as our brain's visual system. But would it actually experience the subjective sensation of redness? Or would it just be an empty machine, a philosophical zombie, perfectly mimicking conscious behavior with no inner life? The hard problem asks why all the electrical fizzing and chemical signaling in our brains should generate the rich, subjective quality of experience. Why isn't it all just happening in the dark, without any awareness at all? Physics and chemistry don't have an answer for that, yet. In the face of this profound riddle, new theories have emerged. One of the most prominent is integrated information theory, or IIT, proposed by neuroscientist Giulio Tononi. This theory makes a bold claim: consciousness is integrated information. It defines consciousness mathematically as a system's capacity to integrate information from its various parts into a unified, irreducible whole. According to IIT, anything with a sufficient degree of integrated information, what it calls phi, has some level of consciousness. Despite our incredible progress, we are still just dipping our toes into the cosmic ocean of consciousness. The territory ahead is vast and filled with profound mysteries. We still don't have a single, universally accepted theory of how the brain generates the mind. Integrated information theory is a promising candidate, yet the hard problem remains stubbornly unsolved. We don't know why subjective experience exists. We don't understand the mechanism that binds our perceptions into a single, unified reality. And what about the self? How does a decentralized network of neurons produce the persistent feeling of a single I? These are the questions that will drive the next generation of scientists. The mysteries deepen across the full spectrum of conscious states. What is happening in the brain during a dream? Dreams are consciousness where the rules of reality bend and break. Meditative states show another mode of awareness. Psychedelic altered states reveal yet more extreme shifts. People often call these the most profound experiences of their lives. They show waking consciousness is just one channel on a wider dial. And what about the future? Building ever more powerful AI forces the question of machine consciousness.